In this video, we will be addressing the question, what are the considerations for growing in the wintertime? Unless you as the grower have a good handle on those considerations, you could be faced with the possibility of a large heating bill and reduced production to the point that it is hard to turn a profit. Now, this goes beyond simply making the greenhouse more heat efficient and reducing your heating bill. This includes things like ventilation and air circulation, humidity control, and restricting the air volume that you are working with. Those are all things that I would like to cover in this video as well. The starting point always is making the greenhouse more heat efficient, and this is typically done with the second layer of plastic with a cushion of air between the two. Now, the ideal is roughly 10 centimeters, and the closer this is to dead air space, the more heat efficient that your structure will be. Now, this is why it is important to periodically do a walk around your building to ensure that there aren't any holes in the cover. Also, make sure that there is no debris laying around your greenhouse, which can become projectiles in a storm. There are different plastics available that are more heat efficient, and that is something that you should explore as well as a way of reducing heat loss. One very important component to growing in a greenhouse for the winter time is ventilation. Now, that will sometimes seem counterproductive that you would be pumping warm air out of the greenhouse, but it needs to be remembered that fresh air is vitally important to the plants over the winter. And by any cost associated with moving that air out will be more than offset by a healthier environment for the plants and increased growth and production. It is also an extremely effective way of reducing humidity. Humidity is something that needs to be very carefully managed in the greenhouse when things are closed up a little bit more than they are in the summertime. It is important to manage how, when, and with the volume, the water that you are applying to the plants. Warm air, when it is exhausted, carries a lot of moisture, and so this way, in a short period of time, you can be reducing the humidity in the greenhouse. Another thing that is important to remember is air circulation. Air circulation is typically achieved with horizontal airflow fans, and that just means you've got one or more fans pointed this way and pointed this way so that the air is always blowing towards a corner. It is important to eliminate stagnant air in the corners, and so you're creating this horizontal flow. But it is important to remember that you're never blowing at the plants, because that will cause excessive drying and in a very uneven way. When you are using heat in a greenhouse, it is important that your heat sources always have stainless steel burners and heat exchangers, since the standard aluminized units will not stand up to the humidity in the greenhouse. Another area that you can explore is to reduce the area that you are heating. And one of the most common ways that growers will do that is to make tunnels inside the greenhouse, so that on the cold nights you can put a piece of plastic over the smaller areas and thereby reduce the area that needs to be heated. Something that needs to be considered at the same time is that having extra covering over these areas will reduce light transmission. Anytime you reduce light transmission, you will also be reducing crop. So this is always a balancing thing that has to be understood. Now, we value our connection with you, and if you have any questions about any of the things that I have highlighted here, we urge you to give us a call and use the extensive experience that we have to make sure that you're pointed in the right direction. Also, in the information below this is the opportunity of subscribing to our YouTube channel, also signing up for our Community Connection newsletter, and we urge you to subscribe and enable you to stay in touch with us, pointers and tips to help you minimize the issues that you're facing with as a grower. We look forward to working with you, and I thank you for watching.